Good morning, everybody. I hope you are having a great first day of summer, longest day of the year, which is one of my favorites. I like it when we have more light as opposed to more dark. So today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about crystals and cleansing them. And I figured it would be easier to do here on a video than to write it all out. You can also find information about cleansing crystals in my book, Crystals for Healing, or in my book, Higher Vibes Toolbox, which is on sale right now, the ebook, for 99 cents on Amazon Kindle. So it's a really good deal through July 1st. Anyway, this wasn't meant to be a book advertisement, but I do want to talk about cleansing crystals. So when you cleanse crystals, there's a reason that you do it. You want to cleanse crystals because crystals hold energy. The reason that crystals work and vibrate with human energy and help raise your vibration or adjust your vibration is through a principle called entrainment. And entrainment is where one thing that vibrates at one rate and another thing that vibrates at another, they're close together and they move into a cohesive vibration. You can see this with metronomes. If you're in a room and there's a bunch of metronomes and they're all set at different rates, eventually those metronomes start to entrain and they all tick at the same time, which is kind of cool. So that's how crystals work too. So just like a crystal can affect your vibration and energy, so can energies affect the crystal, which means that the crystal needs to be cleansed so that it's back to its pure energy, because you want the crystals to have the most pure energy that they possibly can. So that's why you cleanse crystals. I recommend cleansing crystals that get a lot of use weekly at least, and I recommend cleansing all of your crystals, even those that you don't use and those that you use for cleansing. I recommend cleansing them probably at least once a month. What I suggest you do is do it every time there's a full moon. It's kind of like setting your smoke detectors and changing the batteries. I think it's on Labor Day and Memorial Day, and that's how you remember to do it. So the full moon would be a good way to prompt you to remember to cleanse your crystals. And you can cleanse your crystals by setting them in the full moon. And you just want to set them overnight. You can set them on a windowsill where the moon is going to shine through, or you can set them outside if it's not going to rain. Now, one of the common methods you hear about for cleansing crystals is using salt, either putting the crystal all the way in sea salt or cleansing the crystal in water and salt or salt water. And these are things that I don't typically recommend because there are some crystals that will be damaged by doing this. And these are typically crystals that are porous or have metal in them. So it might be something like an opal. You would never want to do that with. Selenite you wouldn't want to do it with, or something with metal like hematite or pyrite. So those are things that you need to keep in mind when you cleanse your crystals as well. But I wanted to show you a few ways that you can cleanse crystals as well. I'm actually up in my studio this morning so that I can show you a few things, and I just have them here with me. So I'm going to flip the camera around. All right, so the first thing I wanted to show you is that you can cleanse a crystal. And I talked about this the other day in my other video. You can cleanse a crystal by placing it in a bed of quartz. Now, you still need to cleanse the quartz occasionally as well. If you're using the quartz for cleansing your crystals, you need to cleanse the quartz as frequently as you cleanse your crystals. But you can do this with smaller crystals. So you just set it there, and then you find some kind of small crystal, and you just place it in the bed of quartz. So there's a piece of, I think it's ametrine, and I would let that set overnight, and that would be plenty to cleanse the crystal. Some crystals also are self-cleansing, although I still recommend cleansing them. So supposedly you never need to cleanse citrine or selenite, which I don't think I have a piece of up here right now. There's more citrine. But supposedly you never want to cleanse those crystals, and or you never need to, but I recommend cleansing them anyway. Just, it's good for the crystal. And so you should do that. So one of the ways is placing them in a bed of quartz. Another way that I really like is either using a sage bundle, which I don't have here with me, or this is Palo Santo. It's a super fragrant wood. It smells really good. It's really fragrant. You just light it and you wave the smoke over your crystals. So if I were going to cleanse my crystals with this, I would light it, let it go out and start to smolder, and then I would just make sure and kind of move the crystals around and make sure I get everything in the crystals. So that's a really great way of cleansing crystals, is with either a sage bundle or Palo Santo, or even if you just have sage incense, that'll work as well. And then one of my favorite ways, and I know you don't have to go out and buy them, is also a crystal singing bowl. You can cleanse crystals with sound. You can use wind chimes. You can use singing bowls like this. You can use tuning forks. I have some tuning forks here as well that you can use those. So if you were to use a tuning fork, let me pull one out here. So here's a tuning fork. You would just strike the tuning fork, let it ring, and again, make sure you get all the crystals and just run it over the crystals. And let it ring all the way. You're going to hold it just by the handle and just let it ring until the vibration ends. And then I would do that maybe 2 or 3 times, and that would give you a really good cleanse with your crystals as well. These vibrate for a long time. This is an unweighted tuning fork, and unweighted tuning forks don't have little round things on the end where weighted tuning forks do. There, I touched it and I just shut it off. Okay. So another of my favorite ways, however, is the singing bowl. And I don't have the ring for my singing bowl to sit on, so hang on here. So singing bowls have to sit, I have a whole collection of them. This is my favorite. It's a root chakra singing bowl, and it is infused with the stone moldavite, which is made from a meteor strike. So I just absolutely love this one. And you can use any singing bowl. You can also use metal singing bowls like those you see up there. So what I would do is I would take my crystal. I've got a good piece of green calcite here. Just set it right in your singing bowl. And then you're going to strike the singing bowl with the mallet. Here's the mallet. Let's see. It's hard to do this one-handed, sorry. So you strike the singing bowl, let it ring, and then you can... It may not ring today. There we go. And let it ring. And you want to do this for a minute or 2. And as it rings, the other thing you can do is you can bring crystals up over the bowl and just let the vibrations cleanse them as well. This is a piece of honey calcite, which is a yellow calcite. This is a piece of purple fluorine, which actually, it's so dark up here it's hard to tell, but it's so dark it's almost black, a purple fluorite. So you notice the crystal's just sitting in there. I'm going to let it ring until it stops, and then I may strike it a few more times. Now you can do this with more than 1 crystal at a time. So you can put, you know, as many crystals in the bowl as not going to affect the vibration of the bowl, and as long as they're just sitting on the bottom like that, they shouldn't. So I could probably get away with carefully putting my entire bowl of upstairs crystals here in it, and then just... And you're going to hear the crystals make a little skittering sound to start, but still it's going to be fine, and the sound is just cleansing those crystals. And this is really good for, like, if you have like the quartz like I have here that you use to cleanse other crystals. I would put my quartz in the bowl and cleanse it that way. So those are just a few ways you can cleanse crystals. The other thing is that if you are an energy healer of any kind, if you do Reiki or matrix energetics or any kind of energy healing, you can hold the crystals in your hand and you can run your energy through them as well. Hi, Jamie. I'm just finishing up, but I miss you. I hope that you come stay with me soon so that we can go have Nia. So that is how you cleanse crystals. If you have questions, ask them below in the comments, but also remember I have written about it in a couple of my books as well. So hope everybody has a great first day of summer and a good summer, and I'll talk to you soon.